Hey everyone, it's Tony Leonardi, certified financial planner, professional, and author of A Smarter Way to Retire, 10 Steps Towards a Confident Financial Future. Back with another episode of A Smarter Way to Retire podcast. We're crafting retirement plans as steady as a classic car, not racing after Wall Street's hottest new toy. I'm much more impressed with a classic. In fact, I restored a 67 Mustang convertible years ago from the ground up when I was in my early 20s. And I had that car for over 20 years. It was a real beauty. Ford green, a dark green with a black top, black interior, 289 V8. Really enjoyed that car for many, many years. And I would take that 67 Mustang over any brand new shiny toy any day of the week. Classic and steady, just like our retirement plans. Last week, we explored alternative investments, real estate, golds, hedge funds, and more to help diversify your portfolio. Today, we're tackling tax-efficient retirement strategies to keep more of your hard-earned wealth. Do you want to see how these strategies fit into your plan? Book a complimentary consultation with me at leonardifamilywealthcare.com/assessment or grab a no-cost copy of my ebook at leonardifamilywealthcare.com/ebook. So let's dive in. Taxes can take a huge bite out of your retirement savings if you're not careful and if you're not strategic. For high net worth retirees, smart tax planning may help maximize your wealth for your family, for travel, for legacy, or for healthcare. The average American spends about 13 hours and about $300 annually on tax prep. I would say that number, $300, is a little low, especially here in the Northeast, where prices tend to be a little bit higher. And on taxes, on withdrawals, and on investments, that fee can add up pretty quickly. My book, A Smarter Way to Retire, emphasizes using our AI-powered smart planning software to help model tax strategies for you, helping to ensure that your plan aligns with your goals and you're not overpaying in taxes to Uncle Sam. In fact, tax planning is such an important topic that I dedicated an entire webinar to this subject earlier in the year, and you can find a recording of that webinar on my YouTube channel, where I go into depth into many of the topics that we're going to talk about today. The video is titled Taxes in Retirement Webinar, Strategies to Keep More of Your Money. You can search for that on my YouTube channel, Leonardi Family Wealthcare. Look in the videos section for that webinar. One key concept to start with in terms of tax planning is tax diversification. Spreading your savings across different types of accounts with different types of tax treatments, like taxable accounts, tax-deferred accounts, like a 401k, and tax-free accounts, like a Roth IRA. Why? Well, diversification in terms of taxability is as important as diversification in terms of investments. It gives you flexibility to manage your tax brackets in retirement. If you're on the younger side and have the opportunity to diversify your tax account types, that will give you great flexibility in retirement as you plan and move forward. Definitely take advantage of your company's retirement plan. Max out your 401k. Max out the company match if you're lucky enough to have one. Don't miss out on that free money offered to you by your company. But then after that, look for Roth options in your plan. Many plans these days have a Roth retirement account option where you put money in after tax, but then it grows tax-free from this point going forward. If you don't have a Roth option in your retirement plan, see if you're eligible income-wise to open up your own Roth IRA. I mean, wouldn't it be fantastic to have a nice big account full of tax-free money to access later on in life? I wish we had this opportunity when I was younger. Roth IRAs just weren't a thing when I started working, and they certainly weren't part of retirement plans until the last 10 years or so. If you haven't opened up a Roth IRA yet, what are you waiting for? Google Roth IRA income limits to see if you're eligible. Diversify yourself in terms of taxability of accounts. It's super important to buy yourself ultimate flexibility in retirement. Here's an example. I have a client with a $4 million portfolio. They had about 70% of their money in traditional IRAs, and that left them facing high taxes on withdrawals. Our smart planning software showed that a balanced mix of Roth and taxable accounts could reduce their burden by 15% over the next 20 years. But tax efficiency isn't a one-size-fits-all strategy. Like Roth conversions or gifting, which require careful planning and good modeling in order to help avoid pitfalls. Today we'll explore 5 ways to help keep taxes low and to help keep your retirement on track. Listen, diving into tax strategies without a plan or a model is like taking a cross-country road trip without a map. You might get lost, or even worse, you might hit a dead end. Our smart planning software helps to ensure your choices align with your goals. Taxes are complex and ever-changing, and mistakes can be costly. Always work with a CFP professional who collaborates with your CPA to keep your tax plan on track. Many folks have great advisors, a great investment expert, an accountant, a good insurance person, but how often do they sync up and strategize for you? How often do they get together on your behalf? Rarely, I would imagine, right? That leaves you juggling their advice like a quarterback trying to call the plays without a playbook. That's a heavy lift. Instead, a skilled CFP professional could act as your co-pilot, sitting next to you with your other advisors to streamline their input, evaluating options, and implementing a cohesive plan. For example, I was on a Zoom call earlier this week with a client and their CPA and attorney to review their plan, which includes several trust accounts and a fairly complex estate plan. Our smart planning software modeled everything for them to help us evaluate their plan and to make adjustments accordingly to fit their goals. In the end, we decided to sell off several of their old legacy stocks that they inherited from their parents, which maybe decades ago were pretty good stocks, but today they're lagging the market in terms of return and they needed to be refreshed. So we're in the process of getting that done for them now. And that's the power of planning and coordinating. So in terms of tax efficiency, here are 5 strategies with real-life examples to help make it clear. First are Roth conversions. Converting traditional IRA funds to a Roth means paying taxes now for tax-free withdrawals later on in the future. A client of mine with a $2 million IRA converted $50,000 annually over a 5-year period while they were in low income and low tax brackets, moving dollars from higher future brackets into lower current brackets. Our planning software projected a 20% tax savings over 25 years, helping to support their travel goals. Timing is the key. You have to convert when you're in lower income, lower tax bracket years in order to minimize taxes. The only way that I know how to do this effectively and efficiently is with modeling. With modeling, we can visually see where your tax brackets could be in the future and compare them to your current tax brackets. Measuring the tax savings of a Roth conversion. Roth conversions could result in large tax savings, but only if done correctly and with good modeling. Idea number 2 is tax loss harvesting, which is selling investments at a loss to offset gains, thereby reducing your tax bill. Listen, this is just a fact of life. If you buy stocks, every so often you will see losses in some of those stocks. We all know stocks can be volatile. We all know they can move up and down. Most people just ignore the ups and downs and hold their stocks, hoping that they will recover in value. But is that always the best strategy, buy and hold? Maybe not. I had a client recently with a $3 million portfolio where we decided to sell some of their losing stocks rather than wait for them to recover. The result was that we were able to offset $30,000 in gains, effectively eliminating the capital gains tax on the higher performing stocks. Our planning software showed that it saved them $6,000 in taxes this year. And who doesn't want to save some tax dollars, am I right? You have to be mindful of the wash sale rules. You can't repurchase the same stock within 30 days, otherwise this strategy doesn't work. You can repurchase the same stock after 30 days. Or maybe you can find better stocks to invest in to move forward. The point here is that buy and hold might not always be the best option. As we near year end, if you have non-retirement accounts, taxable accounts with some positions in the red, you should be talking to your tax advisor now about tax loss harvesting. It could be very powerful. How about gifting strategies? Gifting assets can reduce your taxable estate. In 2025, you can gift up to $19,000 per person without tax consequences. I have a couple who gifted $38,000, $19,000 each for husband and wife, annually to their kids, reducing their taxable estate and therefore their estate taxes. Our planning software ensured that everything fit into the retirement plan, helping them to maintain an 85% probability of success rate. Charitable giving, donating appreciated assets like stocks to avoid capital gains tax and provide tax deductions. That's a great idea. I have a client who donated $50,000 in appreciated stocks to a charity, saving $10,000 in capital gains tax. Our smart planning software showed it supported their philanthropic goals without derailing their retirement goals. Another powerful tool is qualified charitable distributions, or QCD. For those 70 and a half or older, with a QCD, you can transfer up to $100,000 annually from your IRA directly to a charity, tax-free, and it counts towards your required minimum distributions. Great strategy for those who don't necessarily need the income from their required minimum distributions and would like to avoid the tax on those distributions. I have a client who used a $25,000 QCD to support their local community center, reducing their taxable income. And our modeling software helped to ensure that this all fit into their retirement plan, balancing philanthropy with travel goals. QCDs are great, but they require precision. Work with your CFP professional to avoid errors, like ensuring that the transfer goes directly to the charity. You don't want to make a mistake when you do this. I have a few clients that send me a list of charities every year that they like to support, and we have those contributions pulled directly from their IRA. You can even do this with small amounts because they add up. Let's say $100 to your church, $500 to your local community center, $250 to the Boy Scouts. It all adds up and it saves you on taxes in the meantime. Again, who doesn't like to save on taxes? Next concept are tax-efficient withdrawals. This is such a powerful idea that I focused sharply on this in my webinar, in my tax planning webinar earlier in the year. Again, you can find that webinar, Taxes in Retirement webinar, a strategy to keep more of your money. It's on my YouTube channel if you're interested in watching it. The genesis of that webinar was a question that I get often from people who are preparing for retirement. Okay, I have all this money saved up. I have it in different types of accounts, IRAs, Roth IRAs, tax-deferred accounts, savings accounts. What do I do now? How do I withdraw? Which accounts do I withdraw from first? These are great questions. My general advice is to withdraw from accounts strategically to stay in lower tax brackets. Now, this will vary for each individual based on what types of accounts they have, how much they have in each account, where their other income is coming from, what tax bracket are they in currently, etc. Again, here, it's critical to have a good retirement model to refer to so you can make well-informed, educated decisions. For example, I had a client with a $5 million portfolio. We came up with a plan for them to withdraw from taxable accounts first, then tax-deferred accounts, and preserving their Roth assets, their tax-free withdrawals for last. Our smart planning software projected an 18% tax reduction for them over their 30-year retirement period. Literally tens of thousands of dollars in tax savings with a smart withdrawal strategy. And again, who doesn't want to save on taxes? This was the perfect plan for them. Your perfect plan may be different based on your unique situation. If you'd like a tax-efficient withdrawal plan prepared for you, let me know. Reach out to me on my website and look for my Calendly link to schedule a complimentary retirement consultation with me. We will build a retirement model for you to help you make good, informed decisions and help you save some tax dollars. Now, all of these strategies work best in combination with each other. I had a couple with a $6 million portfolio who used Roth conversions and gifting, and we modeled in our smart planning software to optimize their tax burden while funding very important family vacations for them. My approach ties tax planning to your unique financial situation and bases it on your unique goals: travel, legacy, security. No two withdrawal strategies will be the same. Your situation is unique, and your withdrawal strategy should also be just as unique as you are. So are you ready to make your retirement tax efficient? My two-phase process starts with a complimentary 1-hour consultation. We'll review your portfolio, stocks, bonds, and account types, taxable, tax-deferred, tax-free, along with your goals like funding for travel or gifting. Using our smart planning software, I'll model countless scenarios for you to help you optimize your tax strategy and test approaches like Roth conversions. A client learned that their $3 million portfolio could save $100,000 in taxes over 20 years with strategic withdrawals, with a strategic withdrawal plan. You'll get a clear baseline, and then we'll discuss if a formal plan is needed for more detail. I know sharing financial details can feel daunting, but as a CFP professional, I'm here to earn your trust. Book your complimentary consultation with me at leonardifamilywealthcare.com/assessment, or grab a copy of my no-cost ebook at leonardifamilywealthcare/ebook to start planning smart. That's it for this week's A Smarter Way to Retire. I'm Tony Leonardi, CFP professional, helping you build a confident financial future with our smart planning software. Follow us on Instagram at Tony Leonardi CFP and on Facebook at Leonardi Family Wealth Care. Subscribe to Spotify or Apple Podcasts or YouTube. And please leave a review. It helps others to find us. Next week, we're covering healthcare planning for a long retirement. Don't miss it. Book your complimentary consultation today. Let's plan smart and retire happy, and we'll see you next week.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Osaic Wealth, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Osaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth. The opinions expressed herein are for general information only and is not necessarily the opinions of Osaic Wealth or its representatives. Investing is subject to risk, including loss of principal invested. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. No strategy can assure a profit nor protect against loss. It is not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. Please consult your financial professional, attorney, or tax advisor with regard to your individual situation.